So make your way onto your mat and as you lay on the blanket, so you're doing this nice little blanket fold right behind the shoulder blades so that your armpits are above the blanket and your head is on the ground. Now, for some of you, this won't feel good because your upper back doesn't really allow this to happen. And if that's the case, take a blanket and put it under the head so that you're not dropping your head back. You're pretty much right on the back of your head. Or place a little pillow, a little blanket, even a block if need be. But your armpits should be above your blanket so your arms are completely free. Your legs can be straight or the knees can be bent. And just, if you can, pause here. And start to find your breath. Right, this is a passive chest opener, but an important one. It's a little more active than if you were just on the floor with your arms out. You start to feel the stretch through your chest. Start to find your breath. And the other thing to do, by the way, is if the blanket just doesn't feel quite right, move it down or up an inch, a half of an inch, and that could make all the difference in the world. Your arms are out to your sides or they're in cactus pose. Your legs are comfortable. Notice if your chin is way up in the air, and if it is, lengthen through the back of your neck. And just find your breath. Feel the soft movement of your belly as you inhale and as you exhale. Notice the blanket or the towel behind your back and how you feel its presence as you breathe in and breathe out. So often as we breathe, the focus is that front body, right? We feel the ribs expand, the chest expand, but we don't often feel the back body as we breathe. So bring your mind's attention to somewhere, whether it is the breath moving in and out through the nostrils, or maybe more so the movement of chest and back as you breathe. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. You are, let that go. Notice if there's any discomfort in the arms, shoulders, and if there is, move the arms appropriately. Maybe they lower down, maybe they go all the way up, right? Where does it feel good for you? And if your arms allow, shoulders allow, start to move the arms overhead, but keep them on the floor. So find the first different stretch. The first time you feel a different part of the chest muscles, the pectoral muscles, stretching in a different way. Still the head's neutral, still the chin is neutral, still the jaw is soft. Big deep breath, everyone. As you exhale, the back body presses into the blanket. We won't be here too much longer. And then if it's okay, move the arms again, maybe overhead even more. Don't overreach. Let the arms be heavy to the floor, but feel the difference as the ribs start to move forward or toward the ceiling. As the shoulder blades draw into the back even more, the head's still neutral. The elbows heavy toward the floor, palms are facing up. Big deep breath. Exhale into the blanket. Good, one more, big deep breath. Exhale deep into the blanket. And then release the arms down to the sides again or out to the sides. Bend your knees. Ooh, yeah. And draw your knees to your chest and let your arms wrap around your knees. They're not going to come up too high. You probably got a little arch in the back. The blanket or towel's going to kind of be in the way of going too deep, and that's okay. And just notice. Cross your ankles. It doesn't matter which way. Inhale right here. Exhale, bring your chin or your forehead to your knees. Good, and watch this if you're not to round too much in your back. And then as you inhale, release. As you exhale, bring your head to your knees. Good, inhale, release fully. Exhale, squeeze it in. And last one, inhale. Exhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release the feet, release your head. Turn over to your side and come on up just for a moment. I'm just gonna let somebody in that's trying to get in, probably Magdalena. Not that I can see. Good. So come on up to a seat for a moment, but leave your blanket there because we're gonna come back to that in a second. Take the shoulders up to the ears and roll those shoulders. Good. Take them up one more time. Big rolls all the way down, and then take your hands to your shoulders and circle the shoulders. Squeeze them back. If you can, touch the shoulders or elbows in the middle. Reach back and take it down. So squeeze them in the middle. Open them big and wide. Watch for that tension, head, neck. There you go. A couple more. Squeeze them in. Open them up. Good. And then take those arms out to the side and touch the elbows to the middle. And then open them up wide. Good. And squeeze them into the middle. Chest compression, right? Or contraction. And then open. Good. One more. And open, and then take the arms and open them up. Turn your left palm down. I'm not mirroring. Turn the left palm down. Take the right arm up and over. Big deep breath. Inhale, push off. Take both arms up. Exhale, right arm down. Left arm comes over. Big stretch. This should feel so good. Early morning. Inhale. Early for some. Exhale. Left arm down. Right arm up. And again, lift up. Exhale, lower. Nice, lift up, hold it right here. Twist everything to the left. Hold it right there at that nice left twist. Cactus arms and then bring those elbows all the way down toward your waist. Inhale, reach them up. Stay in that twist, be mindful. Exhale, elbows down. Good, and inhale up. Exhale, squeeze them down, and inhale up, twist through center, all the way to the right. Pause here, cactus arms, keep the elbows nice and wide away from each other, and then bring those elbows down to your waist, and inhale it up, 3 of them. Exhale, squeeze them down, and inhale up. Good, last one, squeeze down, inhale up. Take it to center, cactus arms, and breathe. And then just turn your head side to side. See if you can see the elbow, right? The crease of that arm as you turn the head. And breathe. And the next time your head is turned to the right, hold it right there and just kind of gaze. See if you can find some softness. If this hurts your neck, let it go, right? Don't go so deep. And just notice as you stretch through. Good, and center, go to the left, look at that elbow, smile, breathe, and take it center, take those arms up, and exhale down. Good, roll the shoulders. Good, if the legs are getting cranky, maybe you switch them out. Maybe you switch them out because you always sit the same way, right? I always sit the other way, and so it's good for me to switch out those legs and get a different sensation in the hips because of it. Good, inhale, reach the arms up. Cross your right wrist in front of your left. In fact, let's do this lower because it'll make more sense. Cross your right arm in front of your left or on top of your left. And then turn the palms around and interlace the fingers. Good, roll them in, watch the wrists, and roll them out and lift. So arms overhead, watch that the head doesn't come through like a, I don't know, like a whatever that would be. And take it down, bend the elbows, curl the wrists in, and exhale, lift up. Starting to open up chest and shoulders. Exhale, bring them in, curl. Good, lift them up. And then bring them down halfway. You notice that you have the right one on top of the left. So switch your left hand on top of your right or your left wrist on top. Curl them in toward your chest. And release, lift up. Good, and down. I don't know about you, but so much more time for me on computers, on phones is really taking a toll on the shoulders, right? Grounded, good. And lift up. Take those hands back in front of you. Draw the shoulders back. Switch one more time. Right wrist on top of left. Take the arms up. Now watch your wrist here. Make sure it doesn't irritate the wrist. You're gonna bend the elbows out to the side and see if you can touch your little head. There you go. Don't drop the chin down toward the chest. Keep that chest lifted. And then reach up. Exhale, bend. Good, one more, lift, inhale. Exhale, bend, keep the elbows wide. Good, and take it up. Hands come back in front of you where you can see them. Switch your wrist, so your left wrist is on top, fingers are interlaced. Last one here, take them up, watch that head, try to keep it in line, and then bend your elbows and reach up. And bend. Really good work for the wrists, for the shoulders. Last one, squeeze it in. And lift those arms up. Take them in front of you. Undo, palms together, touch. Open them up wide. Breathe. Good. And then turn the palms down as you reach for your back pockets. And notice how wide that chest can stay. Got my fingers down at the bottoms of those back pockets. Drawing the elbows towards each other. The head is neutral, it's not reaching forward. Big deep breath. Good, and then from here, interlace the fingers behind you. Interlace the fingers behind you. You might be able to lift those arms back a little bit. You might not, don't worry about it. If the fronts of your shoulders round forward, you're going a little too high or too deep. So keep the shoulders back. And then take both hands to the left side waist. So you've still got an interlace, don't over grip here. Got those hands at the side body. The elbows are training toward the back, or my left elbow training toward the back. And then left ear to left shoulder. Oh yeah. Big deep breath here. Watch the tension in the head and neck. Always, always honor your body. Make sure that you are paying attention. Don't do anything that you know you shouldn't do that hurts. Oh yeah, just breathe. Just try to let it stretch and then take the chin down toward the left side chest. Good, the head comes to neutral. The arms come back behind you. If you can, change your interlace. So your other fingers are on top. It feels weird. We're habit, right? We're creatures of habit. We'll do the same thing every time unless we think about it. Good, and then take those hands to the right side of your waist. Draw the elbows back behind once you've got that. A little tone to the belly, by the way, and drop right ear to right shoulder. That should feel good. It should feel like a nice stretch without too much pressure, too much tension. Big deep breath. Good, and then drop the chin toward the right side chest, a little bit different stretch, your left shoulder pressing down away from your ear. And take the head back to neutral. Take the hands back behind. See if those fingers will come away from the back body a little bit without rounding. Watch the head. Thank you very much, Miss Betty. And release those hands and shake them out. Good, and circle the wrists. Good, so you can either use your blanket here or not. We're gonna come down to, oh, and grab your strap. We're gonna come down to, I'm gonna lay on my right side. It doesn't matter which side you start with as long as you keep it straight. The blanket is simply to support underneath your arm so you're not completely collapsing. So underneath your armpit, I have my hand with my head resting in my hand. If you don't like that, go ahead and lower down completely. And then bend your knees. Have your knees about 90 degrees. We're gonna warm up this upper leg, this upper quadricep in particular. Now, some of you are going to be able to grab your foot and start to reach that leg back and forward. Trust yourself here to know, is that appropriate for you or not? The other option is going to be to grab your strap and loop around your ankle. Hope you can see this if you're not sure. And then use the strap to bring that leg back and forward. You're keeping the knee bent the whole time. You're just stretching it back and seeing if you can find a little bit of a stretch in the quadricep of that top, in the front thigh of that top leg. And then bring it back in and bring it back. There you go. Try not to create a lot of tension in the upper body here, right? Your upper body should be pretty relaxed. And then the other thing is not to splay your knee high, right? Just try to keep it somewhat level as you bring it back. And bring it forward to your chest. Good, last one, this time hold it back. We're gonna do several stretches through our quads, and this is the first one. Notice that if you can bring your heel to your butt. Not everybody can do this. Do not bring pain into your knees. And then see if you can bring both hips forward. So instead of kind of that butt back resting a little bit, bring the hips forward a little bit and see if you can find a little more stretch in the quadricep of that top leg. Good, and then release, bring the leg forward either with your strap or with your hand. Grab the top of your foot or around the toes of your foot and stretch that leg out. Oh. Good, nice little hamstring stretch here. Breathe. And then release that foot. Take your hand to the floor. Now that top leg is straight out in front of you. I just want you to tap that inside line of the foot and lift it straight. Try not to turn your toes. Drop it down straight. Ooh, yeah. And lift it up. You should start to feel this outer hip engaging. You feeling that over there?
Yes.
And breathe, everybody. Drop it down. Lift it up. Good. One more. Drop it down. Lift it up. See if you can rotate the foot. Now that foot is pointing straight up to the ceiling, as if you were stepping your foot on the ceiling. So you're turning the hip. You're leaning back a little bit. There you go, Betty. And then drop it back down, turn the toes back to the side wall, touch the floor. Good, two more right here. Lift up, Start to turn the hip. Now you're pointing that foot straight up toward the ceiling, and then slowly turn the foot back to the side wall. See if you can touch the floor. Oh, good. One more. Lift up slow, slow, slow. Turn, turn, turn. Good. Breathe and release and down. And then bend that knee. Just rest for a second. Big deep breath. And when you're ready, push yourself up from that position, switch sides, or just turn around. I'm switching sides so I can stay facing camera, but you can just turn over to the other side. Again, the blanket or pillow is just kind of nice under that armpit so that you don't collapse down. We're gonna do the same thing here. Make sure your head and neck are really comfortable. The knees are bent, working on the top leg this time. Body is supported, low belly is toned. Take the leg up, maybe bring it to chest. Again, the strap around that ankle makes sense. Grab your foot and take it back and bring it up. Nice slow warm-ups. Breathe. How's this one feel compared to the other? Is it tighter, looser? Notice how the hip rocks with the leg, right? As we bring the knee closer to chest, we come into this little tuck. As we bring the knee back and away, we go into more of a tilt, right? We're not resisting that. Good, maybe one more time. Bringing the leg toward or the knee toward the chest, and then bring it back and hold. If you're feeling a lot of compression in that knee, let go of the foot completely. I should have said that on the other side. If it's appropriate, bring the heel a little bit closer to your glute. Open up the top shoulder, and then create a little tuck with the hips, a little press forward of the hips to go deeper into the quadriceps, into those thighs. Ah, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. It's Sunday morning, we're doing yoga, right? There's not a whole lot going on, so be kind to your bodies. And then release that, bring it in toward your chest. Release the foot from your strap, set your hand down, and then straighten that leg in front of you, right? Nice flex of the leg, the hips are even. Try not to drop your toes toward the floor, keep it nice and level, and then lift. Try to stay in that plane, and then lower down and touch. When you lower down and touch, it's still a nice stretch in that side hip, but when you lift, we're working it. Good, and drop down. Good, two more. Inhale up and down. And again, lift up, squeeze, and down. This time, as you lift up, start to let the hip open up as if you were going to step on the floor or step on the ceiling. Breathe, and then as you lower, turn the hip. Good. Inhale, lift up, shifting that hip, looking at your toes, pointing straight toward that top shoulder, and then lowering it down to the floor. And one more right here. Lift, squeeze it up. Breathe. And exhale. And bend that knee, rest. Find that nice little hip work there. Super easy. And then from this position, push all the way up. And move your blanket out of the way. And come to a seat or sit on your blanket because you know that's really helpful to your lower back. So you can always use that blanket to lift the hips just a little bit, right? And then find a nice Dandasana. Nice Dandasana pose. Belly is toned as if you were knitting the transverse abdominis towards each other. As you lift up through the chest, press the hands into the floor, engage the legs, ground those legs to the floor, find your breath. Good, you know what we're gonna do next, one of my favorites, super hard for me, but I do it anyway just for fun. Lift your left foot off the floor, start to feel that quadricep working. And there's just one or two of you that are new to me and to the classes, so please, please, please honor your bodies. Find that lovely engagement of that quad, and then if you can, tap it across and back. Just soft. The knee is soft. And across and tap. And across and tap. Across. Last one, tap and straighten it out. Hold it, lift, and lower. Shake it out. Good. Back to a solid Dandasana. Hands to the floor, fingertips to the floor. Fingertips behind if you tend to round in your low back. Here we go. Lift the right leg. Hold. Smile. I have you muted so you can scream if you want. No! If your video's off, you can lower the leg. I'll never know. Just notice, right? Notice where we want to go. Good. And then tap. Bring it across and tap. It's a bear tap. So we're keeping that quadricep engaged. And breathe. That's it. You got it. Only a few more here. Just tap it across. And there, and tap. Good, 2 more. And across, and last one. And then push that leg out in front. Lift up through your torso, press into your hands, and let it go and shake it out. Good, nice job, everybody. And then bend both knees, take them off to the side, and let's come right to table pose. We got a lot to cover today, if we get to it all. So you know who you are. We're going to be on knees for a little bit. If you would like a blanket underneath your knees, go ahead and take a moment to do that. And then come right to table pose. And once you're in table pose, check the hands, check the knees, right? Make sure your hands are shoulders width apart, slightly wider, that the fingers are pressing into the floor, the 4 corners of the hands pressing down into the floor. Good poses, everybody. Belly is toned in, so you have all your natural curves. Hug onto that little beach ball we've been talking about for weeks. If you weren't here before, if the elbows splay out to the sides a little bit, and then you hug a beach ball between the elbows, right? You get good engagement of the shoulders. Belly tones in. Let's go to a few cats and cows here. Let's just check our spines. And notice which one feels better, which one's more habitual. How do we carry our bodies all day long? Can we stay with all of the movements of our spines? Good. One more, both directions. And exhaling. And then a nice neutral spine. Let's do balancing table. We've been doing that every class to make sure we keep working on our core. So press your right leg back. Level out your hips. Tone through the lower belly as if you were zipping up a pair of jeans. And then lift your right leg and just hold for a moment. And then hug the beach ball. Don't squeeze the chest, right? Keep the collarbones wide. But see if you can find that. The toes are pointing straight down. The belly squeezes in, and then the left arm comes out. Maybe that's not okay for you. Maybe your right wrist doesn't want that kind of weight. So just notice. 3, you can always put your left hand down. Big deep breath, everyone. Breathe. Good, lower the hand for a moment. Lift the left or the right leg a little bit more and lift the chest. Watch the low back, no pinching, squeeze the belly. Good, and then exhale, bring that knee to chest. And inhale, slowly lift, don't just use momentum. And then exhale, squeeze it in really tight. Good, last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, lift, hold, level out the hip, bend your knee. Oh. Good, and straighten. And bend the knee. Good, hamstrings. And straighten. 3 more, squeeze it in where you can. And straighten. 2. And straighten, don't rush. Squeeze it in, hold. And straighten and let it go. Oh yeah. Knee down, come on off, maybe circle the wrist, right? Give them some love. Mwah, mwah. Breathe. And come on back, come on back. Check the hands, spread through the fingers, right? Wrists are challenging for a lot of people, so please honor that process. You can always come to elbows, right? And do a balancing table this way. So on hands, lift the left leg. Let's find that alignment again. Squeeze that belly in, level it out. I should be able to put a teacup on your sacrum because it's so nice and level. Notice that, hold on to the beach ball, and then take the right arm out when you're ready. One side's always going to be different than the other. This is one of those poses. We see if we can find our balance. Find that soft spot on your mat that you can gaze at and breathe. You got it. And then lower the right hand to keep the leg. Lift the heel of that leg a little bit. Watch that dip in the back. Lift the chest, squeeze the belly. And when you're ready, exhale, knee to chest for 3. And open it up slow. Exhale, squeeze it in. And lift. Good, last one, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And lift it up and hold. Re-engage that belly. Good, and then bend your knees. Squeeze that in. And open. Good, and squeeze that in. Yep, you got it. 3 more. Squeeze it in. And open it up. Squeeze. And open, relax your jaw. Last one, squeeze. And open, and let it go. Good, and then maybe sit back either in child's pose or hero pose, thunderbolt pose, right? Just shake it out. Find your breath. Good, and then from here, very simple, let's just bring our right knee to our forward, our right foot forward into a low lunge. And once you get there, take your hands to your knee. I find the low lunge a really versatile tool for stretching different parts of the body. In fact, I'm going to turn around just so you can see what's going on specifically with the left hip. So let's start in a deeper lunge, right? We're bringing our hips forward, watching that front knee alignment, front knee to front ankle. My left glute is squeezing to keep the counterbalance of front to back hip. I'm just going to check it out here. How does it feel? Maybe instead of hands, you come to your elbows, right, or to your forearms, and just see how that feels and where you feel the stretch. We're looking for a stretch in the quads. If you're really open here, you might not feel a whole lot. So just notice, low belly tones in as if you're knitting that transverse abdominis. Just breathe. And then leave your right hand on the knee, take the left arm up. Belly still toning in, right? Long lower back, tailbone is heavy. And then start to push your chest away from your knee, your whole torso really, away from the knee. And see if you can find a little more stretch in that left front thigh. Good, deep breath everybody, deep, deep, deep. One more, keep pressing, as if somebody were just pushing at the front of your torso to bring it back away from your leg. And then release. Good, hands to the floor, switch sides. We're gonna do this a couple times. Bring the left leg forward, right foot back. Watch your back knee, right? Make sure you're not having any pain there. Check your front leg alignment, front knee to front ankle, both hands on your knee to start, and you're just checking it out. This time my right glute is engaged. I'm monitoring the right front hip. right? We don't want to just kind of sail through it. A lot of us, if you're really flexible there, you want to go down and really deep into the pose. Think about that. Think about whether or not it's serving your body. And then leave your left hand on the knee, take the right arm. Check that out, right? That little change. Watch the lower back. There should be zero discomfort there. Good, and then take the whole torso away from it. And feel the stretch. Right? It's deeper. It feels good. It should feel good. If it doesn't, don't go so deep. Keep breathing. You know, and deep and good, that good feeling. Release, everybody. Take those hands to the floor. Switch sides. Bring your left knee back, your right knee forward. So I say it should feel good, and that definition is up to you. There's good stretches. There's like good, yummy stretches that may not be super comfortable, but they're still yummy. And then there's the other one that you don't really want. All right, so we're back front foot forward. Walk the foot back a little bit so that you are more upright. Your left knee to hip is straight up and down. So here we are again. I'm gonna really tuck my pelvis. I'm gonna draw it in so that my low back almost goes flat. And then I'm gonna see if I can isometrically lift that hip up and out away from the knee. And feel that stretch. Take the left arm up. Why are we stretching the thighs? If we're gonna do dancer pose, should make sense, right? That we need the front leg open. And a lot of times we stretch hamstrings in yoga. We don't stretch quads nearly as much. We usually are building strength in the quads and stretching the hamstrings. So here we are. Keep stretching from the knee all the way up to the hip and maybe up to the fingertips. Big deep breath. Good, release. Take those hands to the floor. Walk your front foot forward a little bit. Be mindful here. Bend your back leg. Squeeze it in. Right? So if we're always stretching our hamstrings in yoga, we're doing so many forward folds. How are we building hamstrings? This is one pretty sweet way to build hamstring strength. And then release it. If you cramp up in your hamstrings, by the way, please let go of the stretch or the pose. Good, bend the knee again. 1, you're just gonna stay here and check it out. 2, you're gonna take your hands to your right knee and check that out. Ooh, yeah. 3, you're gonna reach behind for your left foot. Sorry, I didn't cue a strap, but that's okay, it's tricky here anyway. You're gonna get more stretch in the quad, more work in the hamstring, and the right arm goes up. Oh yeah, so this for me is one of those good stretches, like, right? If I go too much deeper, it's not gonna be good anymore, it's just gonna hurt. So I am honoring where that thigh is and how much stretching it could use. Good, release the hands, release the foot, hands to the floor. And before we switch, just lift the left knee off the floor and stretch that baby out. Step back to downward facing dog. And pedal the feet. Yeehaw. Right, Betty? Yeah. Good, come on up to tippy toes. Exhale, lower those knees to the floor. Step forward, left leg. Find your breath. Take your hands to your left knee. Come off the pose a little bit. Start to tuck the pelvis to stretch the right leg. Big deep breath. So when we talk about balancing it or imbalances in the body, you know, yoga will show you pretty clearly where you're holding more tension, more tightness in the body. So as we draw the hips in to find more stretch in the right quad, right, the one that you can't see, Keep your left hand where it is, take your right arm up. Just breathe. Your back foot, by the way, pressing into the floor. Legs are active. Your front foot, all four corners, pressing into the floor. And we just find our breath. See, the temptation is to drop in. And as soon as I drop in, I lose the stretch. I lose the intensity of the stretch. So find your happy place. See if you can. Big deep breath, couple more. Sometimes it is mind over matter, not always. We always trust our bodies, but sometimes we just have to quit thinking about it and just let the body breathe. Good. As you release, hands to the floor. Walk your left foot back out a little bit, so a little deeper lunge. Bend your back leg. Hold. Whoop, cramp, let go. Come back in. Good. One, stay right here. That's quite enough. Two, take your hands to your left knee. Find the opening here. Oh, right. A little more balance challenge. If you're still good, reach back with your right hand to your foot. You don't touch your foot, don't worry about it. Maybe all you do is reach the right arm back to keep the chest open. And stretch. And breathe and smile. Can you do all of those things? And whatever you do, don't look at the camera. Because there goes my balance. Good. Big deep breath. You can take the left arm up. And release. Hands to the floor. Release that right leg. Slide your left knee back, just come right to downward facing dog and stretch out those four legs. Pedal the feet, one foot then the other, stretch it out. Try coming all the way up on tippy toes. And then hump the imaginary beach ball, right? Keep that upper chest and shoulders active. Press in through your fingers and then let the heels come a little bit closer to the floor. Big deep breath. Good. Tippy toes. Lower your knees to the floor. Step forward, left leg. We're getting there. Good. This time, by the way, if you have blocks and you want to use them, I know a lot of you don't have blocks because you just can't buy them these days. But if you have blocks and you want them under your hands, feel free to do that. If you don't worry about it. So this time, I'm sliding my right knee back, so it's a pretty deep lunge, but I'm doing that just to make some space for the left leg to straighten. So wrap your left hip around, right, around toward the back, so that your left leg is nice and neutral. Lift the toes so you're on the heel, but don't hyperextend the front knee. And then just stretch. Wide open shoulders, low belly toned. Just reaching back, feeling that. And then if you can, touch your toes, left toes, and then flex. And touch. Ankle flexion, right ankle extension, flexibility. Gosh, so important. You'll see people when they start to lose that flexibility, they start to shuffle because their ankles don't bend anymore. Good, and then flex and hold. Squeeze your belly. Take your right hand and come on fingertips. Just plant that right hand and then turn to the left. And if you're still good, lift the left arm up and breathe. That right hand can be on the block. You cannot do this twist at all, right? Just notice. Whoo. And release that left hand. Bend your front knee. Lift your right knee off the floor. And then see if you can straighten that left leg one more time. Make sure the big toe mound of your left foot is really planted so you don't just start to lean into that outer ankle. Keep the leg nice and neutral. Breathe. And then both knees Bring your right knee to the floor, simply switch, right? We don't need to do a whole bunch of flow today. We'll work hard enough. Your right foot forward, your left knee on the floor. I'm sliding my left knee back a little bit deeper lunge, and then straightening the front leg. Wide open shoulders, try not to let those shoulders come up into your ears if you are using your blocks, which is also a wonderful thing. The hands just rest on the blocks. And then flex your foot, take your toes off the floor, just your heel. Watch that you don't drop into the back knee, the back of your right knee. Keep it neutral. Make sure that that right hip is reaching back. And then same thing here, try to touch your toes and lift and touch. Stretch it, good. A few more, press it down and lift up, down. Stretch it back, good Achilles stretch, last one. Touch your toes and flex. And then plant the left fingertips for me down on the palm, feels too low. And then turn yourself to the right and just look, maybe the hand just stays on your hip as you come into a nice little twist. Otherwise, that arm reaches up to the ceiling. We find our balance, kind of squeeze the legs towards each other for more isometric work. Breathe, oh, that feels so good. And exhale that hand to the floor, bend your knee. Right, shorten that pose if you need to. Lift your left knee off the floor. And then straighten the right leg again, coming into a much longer hamstring stretch. Breathe. Big deep breath, everyone. Keep the breath flowing no matter what. If you're holding your breath, you're working way too hard. Or if you're panting, you're working too hard. Bend the knees, take the left knee to the floor, slide your right leg back, go into a nice wide leg, child's pose, and come on down. Find your breath. Good, and when you're ready, from table pose to knees back into hips width to downward facing dog. And from down dog, you're gonna walk your hands all the way back to your feet. You can move your blanket out of the way if it's still there. Soft knees, nice wide sit bones. Big deep breath. And then bend the knees, everybody. Take your hands to your knees, open up those shoulders, and come all the way up to standing. Wow, that should feel pretty good. Shake that off. Right? When you do a lot of floor work like that, you can, when you get to standing, it's like, oh my God. So I want you to play with a little concept here. Just come into a really easy-ish mountain pose, right? The legs are active. You're not hyperextending the backs of the knees. There's softness there. And then zip up your favorite pair of pants that are a little bit tight, right? Zip it up right here. So from pubic bone to belly button, you're drawing it in. And we're not really lengthening, like I don't want a flat back. But what I want is neutral. So as the tailbone lengthens, we have space right here in our lower backs. The challenge is when we go in a back bend, a lot of times we'll just pinch right here. We're like, oh yeah, that feels terrible. Can't wait for it to be over with. And part of that, at least for me, is because I'm not lengthening. So take one hand to your chest. Take the other hand, you can do either way, whichever way feels better on your wrist. And as you draw the chest up, lengthen the tailbone down. Or the sacrum, right? Not really even tailbone. It's kind of sacrum. And then feel the the space in low back. Yeah, right? It should feel really good. Don't lift the chin. It's not about that. Crown of the head lifts up. Belly tones in. We're finding that. Good. And then take your other hand, the hand that was at your sacrum, and take that to your chest. Keep the sacrum nice and long, and then just pull the skin of your chest up, right? And feel that. Now, did you dump into the low back? Legs are active, knees are soft, tailbone lengthening, right? And then see if you can lift a little bit more. Head neutral. And see if there's a pointed wedge as you're lifting the skin up toward your neck. You get into a place where your low back is starting to feel funky. And if you're there, if you find the funky, take one hand back to your sacrum and see if you can lengthen that down again, right? So what's happening? This is stretching, front body is stretching. Maybe let that hand from your chest go up, head neutral. Crown of the head is what is lifting, right? Nice little back bend. Maybe give a little squeeze to your butt, right? Engage there. And when we squeeze the butt, the thighs can stretch a little bit more and then release it. Take those thumbs to your hip creases. Pull the hip creases back. Come halfway down, halfway down. Your fingers are just wrapping around the sides of your hips. Draw the shoulders away from the floor and the elbows point up toward the ceiling. And breathe. Good, so right here, tone the belly. And as you squeeze the belly in, you should feel your lower back get super long. And then lift the chest a little bit. Good, and then tone the belly, bend your knees. We played with this last week, I think, right? As we start to play with chair pose, I want you to stay deep in the hip of the hinge hip. And then squeeze the belly, lift the chest. Take the arms out. So what's happening here again? Right? No pinching in the lower back. I hope you're feeling that. And if you're not, one hand in chest, one hand in sacrum. They go in opposite directions so that we free the low back. And then the legs isometrically squeeze together as we find chair pose. If this is hard for your shoulders, take the hands to your heart instead, right? And notice how that feels to you. Good. Hang in. Sit back a little deeper if you can. Don't let the knees come into the center. Find your breath. And then stand all the way up and exhale the arms down. And roll your shoulders. And breathe. Good. Come on back to the front of your mat. We're getting there. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down to the floor. Soft, soft knees. Inhale halfway up. And exhale it down. Bend your knees, step back, right leg. Find that nice long lunge, your feet are hips width apart, and then lower your knee to the floor. Inhale, reach up. And breathe. Only if you want, left arm stays up, right arm reaches back and finds that foot again. Oh, right? Here we go. Finding our breath. Release the foot, watch the knee. Take that lunge nice and deep. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift your right knee, step back, downward facing dog. Plant the hands, hold on to the beach ball. Low belly squeezes, sacrum nice and long. Plank pose. And breathe. Squeeze the beach ball. Don't let it go. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees. Come on down. Chaturanga. Whew. Slow, slow, slow. Breathe. Low cobra. Are you feeling a pinch? Right in your low back. If you are, press in through the pubic bone, the belly button. Lengthen the tailbone. Exhale, down dog. That's it, you got it. You know, by the way, that you can come to child's pose anytime. Good, look through those hands, step forward, right leg. Lower your knee to the floor, left knee to the floor. When you're ready, inhale, reach up and breathe. Either stay here or bend your left leg. Reach back with your left hand. Don't worry about holding your foot. Some of you aren't going to be there. Some of you are going to be here, where you're just reaching that arm back to get the shoulder back without the foot. Woo! And release hands to the floor. Lift your left knee and step forward. Breathe, nice forward fold. Bend your knees. Take your hands to your knees. Move the shoulders away from your chest. Right, find that elbow start to train back, belly starts to squeeze. Check out the arch in the low back. Lengthen down through the sacrum as you lift the heart and come into chair pose. Big deep breath, everybody. Woo, yeah. You got this. Stand all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. We've got one more here. Breathe. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale it down. Soften both knees. Step back, left leg. See if you can land beautifully here. You got this. Good. Lower your left knee to the floor. Take your right hand inside your right foot. I hope you can see that. And then bend the elbows. Coming in just a little bit deeper. Squeeze the left glute. If you want a little more, lift the knee and just hold. You got it. Good. Lower the knee. Left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. Right hand comes to your right knee and you're twisted to the right. Keep that left glute active and take the right arm up. Again, a little bit of a twist. Big deep breath. Good. Lower that hand to the floor outside your right knee. Lift the left knee, step back, down dog. Hang in there, we're almost done with all this. You got it, everybody. Keep breathing. Plank pose. Hold right here. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then knees up or knees down. Chaturanga. Release to low cobra. Breathe. Exhale, down dog. That's it. Find your breath. Look through your hands, step forward, left leg. Breathe. Lower your right knee to the floor. Take your left hand inside your left foot. Bend the elbows, come on down just a little bit. Deeper hip opening here. I know some of you can come to elbows, right? We're really just not going super deep here. Lift the right knee if you want. Keep your left knee from splaying out to the side. Find your breath. Good, strong legs. You got it. And then take your right hand under the shoulder if it isn't already. Left hand to your knee. Breathe, open it up. You can lower your right knee, by the way, and come up to twist. Where's your head in all this? Both the physical head and the mental head, right? What's your mind telling you right now, right? Can you stay in the pose and breathe? Release that hand to the floor outside the left foot. Good, listen up, step back to down dog. Lower down to your knees. And find child's pose or hero pose. Just something that feels good, that feels resting. Maybe it's down dog for you, but maybe just come off the wrist for a little bit and shake it out. When I was younger, I always resisted the resting poses. These in-between, I used to call them the in-between poses. Right? It's like, okay, get on with it. But as I've gotten older and a little bit wiser as a yoga teacher, I understand the value of these poses to allow the incorporation of all the other stuff we've been doing, right? The body comes back to equilibrium during this time. And our muscles go, okay, not overtaxed, not overdone, just finding that really nice, sweet spot. All right, when you're ready, come on out of child's pose. Find your way to standing in a lovely yogi way. So that might be table pose, the down dog. It might be another way that you come up, but make it yogi-like. Make me proud. And then shake it out. If you have a chair or a wall or really anything that you could put a hand on for balance, you might want to go there for now, just so that you're not so worried about the balance work itself. You're just here with something to hold on to. But when you're ready, I want you to just simply bend whatever leg is outside, the outside leg, and find, if you can, your hand to your foot. If you can't, that's another place where this lovely strap is going to come in. I'm just going to wrap the strap around your ankle. And you're going to come into your version, right? Some of you have had knee surgeries or knee injuries, and compressing at that level is just going to be too much. So hold on down close to the strap if you can, and then just reach it back and feel that. If you're not using a strap and you're using your hand instead, see if you can find that zip up of the pelvis, right here, where you're just bringing that in. I'm not really moving into a back bend, and then roll that same side shoulder back. Great. You can take both hands behind if you want to play with balance here a little bit more. And then release it. Just completely release. I'm going to set my strap down. You can use yours on the other side if you want. Same thing here. And remember, you're either at wall or not at wall. Those of you who are teachers probably noticed I just got off my double mat. It's not cheating. Good. When you're ready, take your outside foot in your hand, drop the knee down, watch for that other leg hyperextending, right? Roll that shoulder back. And then draw the hips forward to just see if you can find a nice little stretch for the quadriceps. Maybe the opposite arm goes up. Breathe. And release. Shake it out. Turn yourself around. Do the hokey pokey. Back to the first leg. Roll your shoulders. Please stay at the wall or at your chair, wherever you are, if that makes sense for you. A really nice way is we go a little bit deeper, especially as we go into the full dancer pose, is just to face a wall so that your hands come to the wall as you play with the pose. But that'll be for just a minute. Good. Roll your shoulders back. Squeeze your belly in. Grab your outside foot, strap or no strap. This time I want you to see if you can pull the foot away from your hips a little bit, but resist just a little with your hands. Belly squeezes in, right? Moving into a deeper dancer pose. Maybe your opposite hand stays at your hip. Maybe it reaches up. Maybe you breathe. So as that foot presses into the hand holds that foot back. Maybe you come forward and breathe. Maybe that hand is at the wall to help support your balance, or it's at a chair to support your balance. Big deep breath. And release. Whoosh. And shake it out. You got it. Shake it, turn it around. I think I have to tell me I have it as much as I tell you, you got it. You got it, Mary. All right, here we go. For those of you who don't know, Betty's in the room with me. And so I'm always glancing at her to see how she's holding up. Good, all right, so opposite side, your hand or your strap. Roll the outside shoulder back. Start to draw the knee back. Watch the standing leg. You're super easy to hyperextend here. Belly squeezes in, no stress in my low back at all. Right? I'm starting to move that foot away from the hip. Finding balance. Maybe you stay right there. Maybe the arm goes up. Maybe you start to tilt forward. All of those variations and different degrees of your pose. Big deep breath. And come up. And release. And shake it out. And then find mountain pose. Just find mountain pose. How did that feel to you? Right? A dancer is supposed to be so expressive and so awesome. But I think we try too hard sometimes to go too deep. And then it's just a struggle. So we're going to do it one more time, both sides. And this time, no struggle, no struggle. We're just going to like embrace our inner dancer, right? Our inner line. So finding that footing again. Shoulders back and tall. Truly, so grab your outside foot, whichever foot that is for you. Draw the knee back. And just find it. If you're here in dancer, that's awesome, right? It's a challenging balance pose. I didn't mention this before, but some of you have been taught or prefer the hand grip on the inside of the foot. I don't, so I tend to teach it with my hand outside, but you can try that one as well. And then lift up tall and feel the chest lifting and the sacrum lengthening. And then breathe. And when you're ready, maybe you take the torso forward and the foot back. And you breathe. And you just think, wow, this is awesome, right? And there goes my concentration. Breathe. Come on out, shake it out. And to quit being so silly. Or not. All right, shake it out. Go back to the other side. Outside leg, right? Inside leg, we didn't even talk about inside leg, that standing leg, so strong, right? All the muscles hugging in to the bone, the glute active, the hips active, shoulder rolls back, arm comes up, maybe you stay, maybe you come forward, maybe you play, right? Can I go really forward? Can I not? It's okay either way. Breathe. And come on up. And shake it out. Roll your shoulders. Go ahead and step wide on your mat. Come on back to your mats if you're off mat. Deep hinge from those hips, thumbs into the hip creases. Come on down. And then let the hands or the elbows come down to the floor. Still neutral spine, everybody. Try not to over-round. Big deep breath. And hands to the floor. Soft back of the knees. Heel toe those feet back to hips width. Find downward facing dog. Hold it right here. Should feel really good now. Don't forget about the beach ball. Come all the way up to your tippy toes. Lower your knees to the floor, and then come all the way down to your bellies. All the way down. Oh. That feels good, right? It's like, oh my goodness. Good. And when you're ready, really lengthen through the belly and then press your pubic bone into the floor. Plant both tops of your feet onto the floor. Take the hands out nice and wide and bring your elbows up to the ceiling. So you look like a really friendly spider, right, with 2 legs or 2 arms. And then as you're ready, I want you to press into your fingertips and lift your chest. Oh, that feels good. And slowly lower down. If that hurts your fingers, plant the hands, but just be mindful that you don't hurt the wrists here. So either way really works. Good, and then lift up. I want you to stretch your bellies and breathe and bend the elbows back down. Good, and one more, lift up. Lift, lift, lift. Find the stretch of your bellies, everybody. See if you can find it. Draw the shoulders away from your ears, your head, neck, so soft, so comfortable. And exhale down. And then take the hands in front of you, but at the edges of your mats. I have my palms at the corners of my mat, and then press it up again. And try to pull your mat away from you. Like I'm stretching my mat away from me as I lift and lower. Good, and one more right here. Push that mat away. Really create some tension. And notice, maybe notice, right, that your back bend here is feeling kind of sweet, right? There's not a lot of stuff going on there where maybe it normally is. And then lower it down. Take your hands at the level of your shoulders. And what you may or may not see from my standpoint is my hands are wide. Often cobra pose, the hands are kind of tucked in. I find that stressful for me, so I go wider and give my shoulders a little bit more space. The elbows train back. Press into your pubic bone. Start to lift the chest, not the head. Just lift the chest. Lift the head, but don't take it up. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Elbows to the side body. Lift up. Try to draw the elbows back. Push the hands isometrically forward. See if you have freedom in your lower back. Watch for the hanging, right? If your pubic bone's off the floor, see if you can bend the elbows. There you go, Betty. As the elbows train back, and then the head comes into alignment. And you're like, okay, this is possible. If the low back is hurting, what do? We bend the elbows. In fact, bend the elbows. Make those little triceps work a little bit harder. Maybe bend the elbows more, but don't collapse the chest. And really feel the arms working. And one. Make a pillow for your head. Bend one knee and let it go. Bend the other knee and let it go. And then bend both knees and windshield wiper. Shake it out. And then lower those knees. Turn on to your side for starters. And then all the way over onto your back. Keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor for a moment. And then draw the knees toward your chest and listen up. So we're just going to do a little kind of reset with the hips. Take your left hand to the top of your thigh, just above your knee. And take your right hand around your your shin of your right leg. So you've got one hand on the top left thigh, you've got your right hand on the shin. The feet don't have to be flexed or bent or anything like that. I want you to push your left knee into your hand, as if you could touch your left knee to your chest, but it's not moving. And then push your right shin into your hand away from you. So you're doing opposite motions here. Your left knee's trying to squeeze in, and your right knee is trying to push away. Good. Try to relax as much of everything else as you can, but create a little tension here. Like, really feel this. Big deep breath. You might notice that your lower back is going, feels pretty good. And release the push. And then switch hands. Your left hand goes to your front shin. Your right hand goes to the knee, the thigh right in front of your knee. And push again. Try to push your left knee into your hand away from you, your right knee into our chest. Resist. And breathe. That's it. And release. Take both hands to your outer knees. And then push your legs into your hands. Resist your hands with your knees. So you're really trying to push those legs out away from each other. And release. Same thing on the inside. My palms are inside my knees. I'm trying to squeeze my knees in. I'm resisting with my hands so nothing's really moving. And release. Both knees to chest. And one of my friends out there in my Zoom world is not supposed to round her back. So a way to do that with knees to chest is just to move the knees away a little bit so you keep that small arch in the lower back. And then keep your right knee to your chest, stretch your left leg really long. Let it hover, really reach it. See if you can just pull it another inch longer on your mat. That's it. And then bring that knee back to chest, switch sides. Stretch your right leg long, let it hover, keep it an inch or two off the floor. And release both knees toward chest, let both knees go to the left side. It doesn't have to be super deep. If you know your twist isn't supposed to be that deep, perhaps instead of knees to chest, your feet are on the floor. You just let the knees go a little bit to the left side. Both arms are out to the sides, the chest, the back body so long. We find our breath. Chin is level. We bring ourselves slowly back to where we started, right? Even breath, calm, equanimity. And as you're ready, take one knee to center, the other knee to center, and go to the other side, both knees toward the right. Again, stretching it out, back body super wide. Feel the deep breath. Breath by breath, we calm our bodies. Breath by breath, we open our hearts. And then bring the top knee to center. And the bottom knee to center, both feet to the floor. The arms come down to your sides. Ideally, palms face up, heart wide open. And as you're ready, go ahead and straighten the legs. Come into Shavasana. Take a moment to make your Shavasana awesome, right? Maybe your blanket goes under your knees. Maybe you keep the knees bent, feet wide, and knees towards center because those were some challenging back bends for you. Whatever feels right. Feeling yourself truly melt down to the floor. Feeling yourself give way to peace, to compassion, to quietness. Feel gratitude for this soft breath moving in and moving out again. Each breath an opportunity to start over. As the mind wanders, bring it back to the breath. If you can, stay with it for a few more breaths. Let each breath open that heart of yours a little bit more. And as you're ready, start to bring your awareness back. If you would like to stay in Shavasana for a while longer, just don't get up. Just stay and breathe. I know that was a shorty. But as you're ready, draw your knees to your chest. Start to rock side to side. Allow the knees to roll to one side or the other. Find your breath.